Welcome back to Morning Markets on Tuesday, the 13th of July. George Bell here, investment analyst, to provide an update on the key market events of the last 24 hours. A more positive day for equity markets yesterday to kick off the week. The FTSE 100 was up around 0.05% on the day. Europe up around 0.62%, and Asia up around 0.5% on the day. In the US, the S&P 500 was up 0.35% on the day in sterling terms, with financials and communication services leading the way. Today, we'll start to see earnings reports for the second quarter of 2021 rolling through, kicking off with JP Chase and Goldman Sachs, so some of the larger banks within the US. Analysts at this stage are anticipating 63% year-on-year growth for the quarter across the earnings piece so far, following a 52.5% increase in the first quarter of 2021. So substantial growth in earnings expected to come through across the board in the US. Bond markets are seeing a degree of volatility in the US. 10-year Treasury yields yielded in a range of 1.32% to 1.38%, settling at 1.36% on the day, so up around 0.5 basis points on the day. The auction of $38 billion worth of 10-year notes was met with good demand overall. The yield on 30-year Treasuries was up around 0.9 basis points to 1.99%, trading in a range of around 1.95 to 1.99 on the day. Yesterday, we had auctions by the US Treasury, who also sold $58 billion worth of 3-year Treasury notes as well, where we saw modest volatility and lukewarm demand in that part of the yield curve. Yesterday, the Bank of New York Federal Reserve took steps in sales of corporate bonds, which they acquired in the secondary market corporate credit facility, so the SMCCF, back in March 2020. The facility actually closed on the 31st of December last year, with corporate credit markets continuing to function well. Now is the time in which they view it as appropriate to begin the process of winding down the SMCCF portfolio facility. We did experience some US dollar strength, with the Dixie up around 0.1% on the day. Dixie sitting at around 92.3, so sterling against the dollar was slightly weaker on the day at a level of around 1.38. UK gilts of 10 and 30-year maturity actually came in around 0.5 basis points and 1.5 basis points to a level of 0.65% for 10-year yields and 1.16% for 30-year yields. Just to summarise an area of interest in the market press yesterday, on Sunday we had a speech from President of the European Central Bank after unveiling the ECB strategy review last week. As a quick reminder from Friday's update, the review includes modification to the central bank's numerical inflation target from below but close to 2% to a symmetric 2% target over the medium term, but allowing periods of overshoots and undershoots. In the strategy review, they also revealed plans to tackle climate change risks by tilting its asset purchases and collateral rules away from heavy carbon emitting companies that are not aligned with the EU's climate goals. The speech made clear at present that there is division within the ECB as to the appropriate time to start to tighten policy, but Lagarde was comfortable with this division and challenge. At this stage, most analysts don't expect to see policy rates increasing before 2024, at least a year later than the US Federal Reserve is expected to start increasing its rate. A second important announcement was the Bank of England's removal of restrictions on Britain's top banks, including HSBC, Barclays and Standard Chartered, to start issuing dividends. The Prudential Regulatory Authority concluded that extraordinary guardrails within which it has asked banks boards to determine the appropriate level of distributions in relation to the full year 2020 results are no longer necessary and have been removed with immediate effect. This follows the US Federal Reserve in relaxing restrictions, and a sign that authorities are more optimistic about the industry's ability to manage borrower defaults, but also rewarding shareholders. The European Central Bank has taken a more cautious approach by capping payouts through to September, whilst also extending relief from bank coverage and leverage restrictions to help firms continue lending. Thank you for watching. We look forward to bringing you up to date tomorrow on Morning Markets.
Subscribing to the True Potential YouTube channel is quick and easy. Simply go to your YouTube app on your phone, type in True Potential and press the red subscribe option. You'll then be notified as and when new videos are released.